Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 7th of Feb 2023 and to be honest, the global cryptocurrency market is not looking that good. The prices of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has marginally gone down since the last 24 hours and the global cryptocurrency market is still at $1.07 trillion. So when we're looking at the prices of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and even at DeFi and market share, there's not much movement since the last 24 hours. Now we do have some update regarding Binance, and Binance is temporarily suspending US dollar bank transfers. Now, what is really strange about this news is Binance US customers are not going to be affected by this news. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that. And look guys, every Mondays, Glassnodes, they tend to provide weekly insight. So in today's episode, we are very briefly going to look at what information Glassnode has for us. Now, along with Glassnodes, CoinShares, they tend to provide a weekly insight as well. Now, I particularly like CoinShares because they provide a very comprehensive overview or snapshot of what has happened in the last week. And looks like Bitcoin is gaining a lot of momentum. Now, does this mean that there are bullish days ahead? I really am not sure because in the month of March, there's Ethereum Shanghai upgrade kicking in as well. Now, I do feel that because of that news, there might be a temporary movement in the price of Ethereum. So we'll go ahead and talk about that very briefly. Now in today's episode, we also have Bitcoin mining update. Now in yesterday's episode, we did talk about Marathon Digital Holdings, and this time we have update regarding Riot Platform and also regarding TerraWolf. One of them is positive and the second one unfortunately not so. Now regarding the mining industry, we also have some news regarding Russia, and looks like Russia is expanding its crypto mining facility, and this is not necessarily to do with Bitcoin as such, but the entire crypto mining industry. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that in today's episode. Then like we always cover in Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast, we have two news regarding UAE, and both the news are events which I conduct every month, and this event is taking place in March. So essentially both the news are regarding events that I'm conducting. The first one is a Bitcoin beginner session, and it is a three-part series which takes place on the 2nd of March, 9th of March and 16th of March. And the second event is an Ethereum beginner's guide, a standalone session on the 2nd of March. So in today's episode, I'll very briefly go ahead and explain what are the details that I'll be discussing in both of these sessions. So a lot to cover in today's episode. So let's kickstart with today's episode. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us. From the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies, we'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Firstly guys, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called Rise in the Obstacle Course Race, and Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, since we've taken care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, as I said, guys, there is not much movement since the last 24 hours. The global cryptocurrency market is at $1.07 trillion. Now, since the last 24 hours, it is marginally picked up pace by 0.99%. The total crypto market volume once again is ridiculously low at $51.76 billion. Now, since the last 24 hours, it has gone up by mere 6.09%. The volume of DeFi is still low at $5.26 billion. I'm talking about the 24-hour volume. The total value locked is at $48.88 billion. Lido is still dominating with 7.35%, and $8.48 billion is locked in its protocol. Now, DeFi accounts for 6.91% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. MakerDAO is number 2nd, and $7.25 billion is locked in its protocol, followed by Curve Finance at $4.94 billion, and Aave, which is number 4, at $4.66 billion. Now look guys, there is some update regarding Aave, because a few months ago I did talk about a notorious trader who was trying to manipulate Aave and Curve Finance. Now I'm not sure if we can call it notorious, because what he was doing was legally right, and he did actually state openly what he's trying to do. So what he was trying to essentially do is, he was trying to manipulate Aave market, and the future of Aave did not look good. But there's some update regarding Aave, and looks like they are trying to get some funds to recoup the project. So I really am not sure what the future of Aave protocol is. But look guys, what the trader was doing, I believe his name was Eisenberg. He was trying to do everything legal and legitimate, but unfortunately, looks like he's been arrested and there's some ongoing case regarding him. So I'll try to go ahead and update tomorrow to get more information about what is going on, particularly with that trader. Now at number 5, so far as the total value locked is concerned, is Convex Finance, and $4.22 billion is locked in its protocol. The volume of stablecoins is ridiculously low at $46.63 billion, and stablecoin accounts for 90.08% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now look guys, when it comes to stablecoins, I've said this time and over again, there are two metrics which are ridiculously bad. One, the volume of stablecoins is ridiculously low, and second, the volume of stablecoin accounts for 90.08% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, and this just makes perfect use case for central banks all over the world to go and pitch in central bank digital currencies. Now, according to me, the volume of stablecoins being ridiculously low is perfectly okay, but stablecoins should not account for 90% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Ideally, it should be DeFi protocols, or it should be Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency related protocols. Now, that thing being said, Tether USDT is still leading the pack with $33.76 billion locked in this protocol, followed by Circle USDC at $3.11 billion, and finally Binance USD at $9.35 billion. Now let's look at the market share, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's dominance is at 41.30% and Ethereum's dominance is at 18.70%. And so far as the market cap is concerned, Bitcoin and Ethereum's market cap has relatively been the same since the last 24 hours. Bitcoin is at $442 billion and Ethereum is at $200 billion. The 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $24.2 billion and Ethereum is at $6.79 billion. Now today guys, I'm going to be looking at the total value of assets in decentralized apps smart contract, and the first one without saying is ETH2 deposit smart contract, and as of today $27.09 billion is the value of assets in this DApp smart contract, followed by Polygon proof of stake bridge at $4.1 billion, Core Finance at $2.48 billion, Uniswap version 3 at $2.3 billion. Now really I'm not sure what is going on regarding Uniswap version 3, because in yesterday's podcast I did talk about Uniswap version 3 was planning to switch from Ethereum to Binance B. But guys, while I was about to go live, I did actually see a report which was written by Unblock that did actually state that Uniswap version 3 is going to be launched on Boba network, which is on Ethereum. So I probably need to do more research on that. Now look guys, if you're into Uniswap version 3, you definitely need to check it out, because yesterday there was quite a lot of drama and CZ did actually tweet that looks like Uniswap is controlled by Andreessen Horowitz A16Z, and that, to be honest guys, is not good for a decentralized, because looks like a centralized entity with a lot of token can do a lot of decision making, and this is a big no, particularly when you talk about a so-called distributed consensus form of system. But nonetheless, so far as the total value of assets in its decentralized app smart contracts is concerned, is at $2.3 billion and followed by Autoshark Finance at $1.31 billion. Now let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently at $22,913. Now ever since Jerome Powell announced the inflation numbers and the interest rate, looks like Bitcoin is not going back to the price of $15,000. The price has pumped up roughly $7,000. So ever since the inflation numbers were announced, there are two ways of looking at it. It's great that the price of Bitcoin has gone up, but the second way, at a macro level, if you say Bitcoin is heavily dependent on inflation and the interest rate hike, this, to be honest guys, is not ideal at macro level. But nonetheless, since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.54%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 1.01%. Ethereum, a so-called first world computer, is at $1,631. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.44%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.78%. Binance Coin is looking good. It is currently at $328. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.43%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 4.89%. Now look guys, Binance BNB coin is making a lot of headways, not just in the cryptocurrency world, but also in the Bitcoin world as well. But unfortunately, there is some news in the cryptocurrency world, and Binance did actually announce that it is temporarily suspending US dollar bank transfers. At this point of time, I'm not sure why they have done that. Is it something to do with sanctions, or really I'm not sure. So the news is Binance is temporarily suspending US dollar bank transfers starting Wednesday. And this news is officially confirmed by an email that they sent to CoinDesk and also to Decrypt. But strangely, Binance USA is not affected by this news. And one thing you need to know, guys, that Binance USA is a separate entity and they do have a different CEO as well. So if you go through tweets, Binance US customer support did actually state that this news definitely does not affect Binance US customers. So it could be possible that other users probably not living in US are trying to withdraw the funds in US dollar bank account, and that could be the reason why Binance is temporarily suspending the withdrawals. Now, in an email to Decrypt, Binance did actually state that the crypto exchange Binance only has 0.01% of its traders making use of USD bank transfers. So in that case, when you look at it from a Binance point of view, it does not make absolutely any difference. But it is still a news, and I thought I'll go ahead and share it. Now, guys, let's very briefly look at Glassnode's weekly insight. Because what they do is they discuss that last month was an explosive month so far as the price volatility of Bitcoin is concerned, and Bitcoin is consolidating above the on-chain cost basis on several cohorts. Now, look, guys, when you look at Glassnodes, it's much better to actually see it because they have quite a lot of charts and graphs. Now, if you're a technical nerd, definitely read through it because there are a lot of charts and graphs and it becomes a bit difficult to actually go ahead and explain it on a podcasting platform. But what that actually states is that Bitcoin is consolidating above the on-chain cost basis on several cohorts, and this puts an average Bitcoin holder into a regime of unrealized profit and demonstrates a potential turning of the macro markets tide is underway. Now, could this be some kind of indication that we might be heading into a bullish market? I really am not sure, but this theme is echoed by CoinShares' weekly blog as well, because their weekly blog, which is published via Medium, states that investor sentiment seems to be improving and it has brought the year-to-date inflows to $230 million. Now look, guys, this sentiment has drastically changed because of Jerome Powell. The moment he announced the inflation numbers on the 12th of Jan, and when he announced the lowered interest rate hike on the 1st of February, that's one of the reasons why the investment sentiments have changed. And what the blog via CoinShares states is that it is the fourth consecutive week of inflows, with year-to-date inflows now at $230 million, and Bitcoin has led the pack with inflows totaling $69 million, which is representing 90% of the total flows for the week. Unfortunately, Ethereum saw only $0.7 million worth of inflows. Now, does this mean that there are bullish days ahead? What I think, guys, is as and when the Ethereum upgrade date comes closer, we might definitely see some strong movement in the price of Ethereum. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Mention them in the comments below. Now, the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is a Bitcoin mining update. Now, in my yesterday's podcast, I did talk about Bitcoin mining update, and that was to do with Marathon Digital Holdings. Now, this news is regarding Riot platforms. Now, there are two news regarding Riot platforms which are linked to the Bitcoin mining industry. The first news that they mentioned via the website is that Riot platform has produced a new all-time high of 740 Bitcoins in January of 2023, and all the details can be found on the website. Now, the negative news about Riot platform which they mentioned on the website is that in the month of December, 17,040 miners did actually go offline as a result of damage to building number G from the service winter weather in late December in Texas. Now, in Texas, because of the winter conditions, they did actually have to shut down quite a lot of miners. So it looks like December was a bad month for the Bitcoin mining industry, but January, for the companies who decided to stay, it looks like it is turning out to be fruitful. Now look, guys, in the last quarter of 2022, a lot of the companies that were heavily focused on Bitcoin mining did face a lot of financial losses. And one thing which I did mention in my podcast as well, how these companies are set across is they do anticipate business, let's say 8 months down the line, 12 months down the line, and 100% guaranteed of profit. But because of the prices of Bitcoin, because it is so volatile, and when it tends to go down, they are forced to liquidate and get out of the market. So a lot of Bitcoin mining industries who do have a lot of fun who have decided to stay, looks like January was a profitable month. Now, unfortunately, TerraWolf is one of those miners that did have to restructure its debts, and because of that, the stock did actually drive down, and Seeking Alpha did actually put up a report that said that TerraWolf is restructuring its debt obligation in an effort to steer clear of negative free cash flow. Now listen guys, if you're someone who's working in the mining industry, Laura Shin from Unchained Podcast, she did put up an excellent episode discussing the technical details of the mining industry. I would definitely recommend you to go ahead and check through it. And if you are someone who's in the mining industry and needs some assistance, also hit me up, because lately there are quite a lot of mining industries which have been set up in Abu Dhabi, and I do have affiliates and I can get you connected with key decision makers. Now going back to the news regarding TerraWolf said it struck a deal with its existing lenders on certain debt modification, and in addition they are planning to raise $32 million of equity proceeds, which together are expected to bring Wolf to positive free cash flow in the second quarter. And this is a bit tricky, particularly when you talk about the Bitcoin mining industry. Because the prices of Bitcoin tends to go down, you're forced to completely liquidate. Now there is some news regarding Russia and the mining industry as well. And Bitcoin.com did actually publish an article that states that Russia expands its crypto mining capacity not just for Bitcoin but for all proof of work protocols, and the capacity of Russia mining farm exceeds 500 megawatts at the end of 2022, and looks like they did kind of a survey or a poll, because according to the results from the poll among established industry players published by Business Daily called Commersant, the article also talks about BitRiver is the leader in the group and have 8 crypto mining sites with a combined rating of 300 megawatts, and the power of the facility run by Ural Mining Company, also called as UMC, is 88 megawatts. Now look guys, this might sound extremely technical. If you do need some more assistance, drop me an email, because I'm working with few Bitcoin mining industries in Dubai, so I'll be able to provide you some further assistance. Now BitCluster owns 360 megawatt farms, and EMCD operates 50 megawatts of data centers in 4 different locations, while BWCUG has one at 20 megawatts. The Bitcoin mining industry looks like it is gaining momentum, but guys listen, one thing which I fear again is the Bitcoin mining difficulty has gone extremely high. So once the Bitcoin mining difficulty is going to go down, could it be possible that Bitcoin miners who have ridiculously hash power, can they do double spend? What are your thoughts guys? Mention them in the comments below. Now guys, let's discuss 2 news regarding UAE. Now what I've been doing for almost 2 years now, every month I tend to have free sessions on Bitcoin Beginner's Guide, Ethereum Beginner's Guide, Stellar Analysis, Metaverse, stablecoins, and quite a lot more. Now on the 2nd of March, I do have 2 events. The first one is called as Bitcoin Beginner's Guide, which is essentially a 3-part series. The first one is on the 2nd of March, the second one is on the 9th of March, and the third one is on the 16th of March. So let me try to give you a very brief overview of what is it that you can expect at these sessions. Now these sessions are done by me. It is an initiative to train, educate and consult the people of Dubai and UAE on Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And one thing guys which I often say in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast is, once you truly understand what Bitcoin is, you will truly understand what it is not. If you do want to sign up for these sessions, it's completely free of cost. The event can be found on eventbrite.com, or you can also go to my website www.blockchaindxb.com, or guys just drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now let me try to give out some information on what time these sessions are. The sessions for Bitcoin are on 2nd, 9th and 16th of March at 11 a.m. Gulf Standard Time. Now on the 2nd of March, I'm going to be discussing the history of Bitcoin. I'll also go and explore the projects that existed before Bitcoin. So there were quite a lot of projects that existed before Bitcoin, and they tried to create a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, but they did have a problem, and the problem was double spend. Now look guys, if you are in the cryptocurrency space, if you're in the blockchain industry or in the Web3 industry, you absolutely should have heard the double spend problem. Now the reason I wanted to talk about double spend problem is because over the weekend I did speak to someone who claimed to be working in the cryptocurrency world for the past 4 years, but he did not absolutely know what the term double spend is. So double spend is an absolute basic, because what Satoshi Nakamoto did, he solved the double spending problem, and essentially solving the double spending problem is the creation of Bitcoin. So in the episode on the 2nd of March, we'll go ahead and explore what the double spend problem is, who is Satoshi Nakamoto, why he matters and why he does not, and we'll also go ahead and look at how the Bitcoin blockchain works. So what is it that goes into a block, what is it that goes into a chain, and quite a lot of other. And the session which takes place on the 9th of March, we will look at Byzantine fault tolerance. This is another term. If you're someone who's working in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, you should have already known by now what the term BFT is, or Byzantine fault tolerance is. But nonetheless, on the session on the 9th of March, if you're a completely newbie or a complete beginner, I'll go ahead and explain what this is. We'll also look at the Bitcoin white paper. We will look at what is private key, what is public key, and we'll also go ahead and look at what is SHA-256 or secure hashing algorithm 256. But listen guys, this will be done in an absolutely basic level, so you do not need absolutely any technical information. No computer software or hardware is needed. I'll go ahead and explain how the hashing algorithm work, how the mathematics work, and how cryptography works. Essentially, Satoshi Nakamoto's biggest innovation was compilation of hashing algorithm, mathematics, and cryptography. So we look at how Satoshi Nakamoto did it, but again guys, it's going to be at an absolutely basic level. Even a 5-year-old can understand. We'll also look at how Bitcoin mining works. We'll also go and explore how the Bitcoin halving works, and the next halving most likely will occur in the second quarter of 2024, and we'll go and look at how the Bitcoin mining difficulty works. In yesterday's podcast, I very briefly talked about how Bitcoin difficulty mining works, but on the session on the 9th of March, I'll go ahead and explain how the Bitcoin mining difficulty works. And the final session, which takes place on the 16th of March, I will look at the Bitcoin market share. We'll go ahead and share the different forks of Bitcoin. So we have Bitcoin Core, we have Bitcoin Cash, we have Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, and there are over 50 forks or different types of Bitcoin. So we'll go ahead and look at that. We'll also look at basics of Lightning Network. Now look guys, Lightning Network, not blockchain, is a narrative definitely picking up pace, not just in the Bitcoin community, but also in the crypto community as well. So we'll go ahead and look at what is Bitcoin Lightning Network along with Bitcoin Lightning Network. We also have Liquid Network. I'll go ahead and explain at a very basic level what are the basics of Lightning and Liquid Network. We'll also look at the different types of Bitcoin, the wallets and the different types of wallets, the pillars of open blockchain, which is popularized by none other than Andreas Antonopoulos. We will also look at open blockchain versus private blockchain, how to buy and sell your Bitcoin. But listen guys, I will not be giving absolutely any investment advice. We will also be looking at the current and the future state of Bitcoin. And listen guys, if you do want to sponsor the events, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. Now let me try to give us some information regarding the second event that is taking place on the 2nd of March, and this is an Ethereum beginner's guide. Now this session takes place at 2 p.m. Gulf Standard Time, at last till 3:30 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. And once again guys, it is done in line with Dubai Blockchain Strategy, an initiative to train and educate the people and consult the people on blockchain technology and try to share the use cases of Ethereum blockchain. So on the session on the 2nd of March, we would look at what is Ethereum. We'll also look at the history of Ethereum and the projects that existed before Ethereum. So this whole smart contract notion did actually exist even before Ethereum. We will also go ahead and explore the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And at this point of time, I'm pretty much sure everyone knows what is the key difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll also go ahead and discuss the challenges faced by Ethereum. And look guys, one of the biggest challenges that Ethereum is facing right now is that over 60% of the blocks is OFAC compliant. This is a big no, particularly when you talk about open blockchain. So I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinions on that. Ethereum also had the biggest event called as the London Hard Fork, which I particularly think guys is an absolute game changer. And I'll go ahead and explain how the London Hard Fork works and what kind of an impact will that have on the price of Bitcoin in the near future. And because of the London Hard Fork, is it possible for Ethereum to go ahead and flip Bitcoin? Now last year there was a massive change in Ethereum. It switched from proof of work to proof of stake. So essentially there were 5 stages. So we'll very briefly run through those 5 stages. Now in the past I used to go ahead and explore that in detail, but now since that has already happened, there's no much point in going in detail. But in the month of March, there's another upgrade which is going to take place called as the Shanghai upgrade. So we'll go ahead and look at that in detail. I'll also go ahead and explore how you can go ahead and build on Ethereum, what are the competitors of Ethereum, and look guys, since 2015, there have been so many Ethereum killers. There was EOS protocol which raised $4 billion and that at one point of time was supposed to be an Ethereum killer. Lately, Solana was claiming to be an Ethereum killer, Algorand is supposed to be an Ethereum killer, and quite a lot more. Looks like the competitions have come and gone, and Ethereum is still standing still. So we'll definitely go to look at the different use cases of Ethereum. We will look at the different second layer protocols such as Polygon Network, ZK Snark, Zero Knowledge Proof, and quite a lot of other. We will also discuss the current and the future state of Ethereum. And once again guys, if you want to sponsor these events, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com, or you can also drop me an email to info@area2071.com. But once again guys, this session is suited for someone with little or no experience at a completely basic and beginner level, and absolutely no prior knowledge or technical expertise is needed. The sessions are completely free of cost. So those were the news from Crypto and Coffee here from Blockchain DXP for the 7th of February. In case if you guys do have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxp.com. You can also check out my website www.blockchaindxp.com, and also check out my other website, that is area2071.com, that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXP. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Salim who asks, do you think Binance will stop AED withdrawal in future? Because I have a lot of money in Binance. Now firstly, and the most important thing to remember, Salim, is not your keys, not your crypto. So make sure you do actually withdraw all of your crypto from any cryptocurrency exchange, not just Binance, onto your own personal hardware wallet. Now that thing being said, Salim, I don't think Binance will stop AED withdrawal, at least for now. And looks like this news is only for people who are trying to withdraw their funds into a US bank dollar transfer. Now really I'm not sure why one would do that. And one thing which I did mention, Salim, earlier is that Binance US customers will still be able to withdraw their funds into the US bank dollar accounts. So it looks like it could be possible that people who are not living in the US do have an account, let's say, in a different form of currency, and looks like they are trying to withdraw it using the US dollar method, and that might be the reason why there might be a temporary suspension. Or it could be possible that people from US are utilizing Binance, which is not Binance US, and they are trying to withdraw funds in the form of US dollar account, and that's one of the reasons why there is a temporary suspension. And one thing, Salim, which I did mention earlier as well, is that looks like for Binance, it's 0.01% of the customers who are going to be affected. But going back to your question, I don't think that Binance will stop AED withdrawals, particularly now. And even if they do, I'm pretty much sure that they will be giving some advance, like at least 5 days or 10 days. Even in case of this, they did give an advance of at least 2 days. But I would recommend you to do is, if you do have a lot of funds, make sure your documents are absolutely legit and safe, and do keep checking for any guidelines from Binance. But to answer your question, I don't think, at least for the near future, that Binance will stop AED withdrawals, at least from UAE. I have another question by George who asks, did you see the news about VARA releasing some regulatory update? Now yes, George, I did see a news earlier regarding VARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, and looks like they are launching full market product regulations. Now what I'm going to be doing, George, is in my episode tomorrow, that is the 8th of Feb, I'll definitely go and explain that in detail. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to ask ChatGPT to summarize this, because I haven't read through the news yet, but my understanding is that there might be quite a lot of legal terminologies, so I'm definitely going to take some assistance from ChatGPT and make it easier for people to understand. Now, so far as the news regarding VARA is concerned, I know for a very fact, George, that Binance at one point of time was working with VARA, or Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, which is located in Dubai World Trade Center. And I did cover this in my podcast a few months ago. And Binance was actually helping VARA in creating regulatory guidelines and clarity. Now, really, I'm not sure what the status is because Binance was working with the Museum of Future in creating the world's best NFT, but looks like nothing is happening in that front. Now, in tomorrow's episode, I definitely will cover the news regarding VARA because it is an essential news so far as Dubai and UAE is concerned in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and Web 3.0. Now, what I've also done, George, is I've also sent them an email just before going live on my broadcast, and I thought, I might do at least an 8-part series with Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. And look, guys, if you're someone who knows any key people from VARA, please help me get in connect with them. I would really like to do an 8-part series with Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. And the reason for me to do that is so that listeners, in understanding the regulations so far as cryptocurrency is concerned, so I'd like to discuss the history and the formation of VARA, whom did they consult, who are the key people who are involved in setting up VARA, what role did Binance play, and how does VARA work with OFAC or anti-money laundering and KYC and quite a lot of other. So in tomorrow's episode, I'll definitely go and explore quite a lot of those things, George. So that's all for today, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee Date from Blockchain DXB for the 7th of Feb 2023. In case you guys do have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.